Today, I want to talk about a question I got on one of my coaching calls, and I thought it would give a lot of value to you guys. So, the question that my mentee asked is, well, how do I get started when I want to start, going through the program, or once I want to start finding a deal? So, she went through my course, she went through my mentorship, and basically what I told her was, at this point, you want to identify which market you want to invest in, and the best way to find the market is to just look at multiple markets. So first of all, look at your price point, right? So, I'm based here in California. It's a higher cost of living market here. And when I first started, I was looking at different markets. And how I determined my market was number one, is there job growth? Because job growth leads to population growth, which leads to rental demand. So that's likely that you can rent out your units. Number two is there low crime, right? Like no amount of money can fix a bad area. I learned that the hard way through my mobile home park, because that it was a D-class area. And a great resource that I use is city-data.org. So you just can type in the city name. You could see the crime index, and you want that crime index to be like under 500. You want to see overall a general population growth, and then you want to look at the job variety and make sure that the market isn't dependent on one job, right? So like a lot of, for example, military bases, if the city that you're in, it's just a military base there, and it's great when it's active, but if the military base decides to go somewhere else, now you're kind of stuck, right? You're stuck with a lot of different things. So you want job variety. So, and then for me, on top of that, I prefer to invest under the sun belt, because I don't want to deal with snow. And I prefer, obviously landlord friendly states where it's easy to evict tenants, unlike California. And then ideally, you want low property tax as well. So because of all that, this is why I invest in Oklahoma, right? Um, and then the price point's about under $1 million for an apartment complex that you can find. So it's a great place to start. So I was basically telling her like, yeah, just start. Pick a couple markets. So when I first started, it was Tennessee for me, Georgia, Arkansas, Alabama, Oklahoma. I just wanted more like cost-effective markets, more cash flow markets, because I wanted some cash flow to kind of balance my California real estate, which is mostly appreciation. So I just told her, okay, before sending your letters, so wait, step one was basically, do you have the money, right? Like, do you have at least $300,000 to, put 25% down at least, and then have some money for renovation, and then have some money for reserves? And she said, yeah. And my next thing was like, all right, if you're looking to buy within 6 to 12 months, you're okay to start your direct mail campaign, right? So you can send 300 letters a month for the next 6 to 12 months, and then talk to owners. But even before all that, what you want to do is identify like 5 or 6 states that you want to possibly invest in, based on the metrics I described. Call as many property managers as possible in all those areas. And then when you talk to the property managers, you want to understand the market. Just say, hey, I'm looking to buy an apartment complex in this market, and just wanted to learn more about the market before deciding what works best for me. And the property manager will tell you, so you want to ask them, so how's the rental demand? What's the average rent for a 1 bedroom? What's the average rent for a 2 bedroom? What are some good areas? Do you know any general contractors? Do you know any lenders? Do you know anyone that wants to sell their apartment complex? Do you know any, good real estate agents or brokers that you can refer me to? So the whole point of this is just to gather information and then spread out your web. So, and to increase your knowledge, right? Because a good property manager, and it should be a property manager who only manages apartments, right? So if you only want to if you're buying like a 30 unit apartment complex, ideally your property manager should have a lot of experience managing 30 unit apartment complexes, because it's going to be different to manage a 30 unit versus like, let's say, a 100 unit, right? Because maybe a 100 unit might have an on-site property manager and on-site maintenance person, versus a 20 or 30 there's not going to be an on-site property manager, there's not going to be an on-site maintenance guy. So you want somebody that's like has experience managing what you want, right? So for me, I was aiming between 5 to 100 units. So, I would talk to property managers in different ranges, 5 to 30, and then, 30 to like 100, or 30 to like maybe 60, then 60 to like 100, right? So you want that range, you want that variety. But honestly, the point of this exercise isn't, you're most likely you're not going to find a deal from this. You may, right? Like I haven't gotten a good deal brought to me from a property manager yet, or who they referred me to a great real estate agent or broker who brought me a great deal. I got all my deals off market, as I've shared a lot in this channel. But the point of this is, you want to build your team and your boots on the ground, right? So you identify your property manager, see if they're a good fit for you, see if they can manage your property, and if you find one that you like, you need to find a couple that you like. I always recommend you need 3 property managers, right? Like, you need the one that you like the most, a backup in case the first one's not good, and the backup in case the first 2 are not good, right? Because most property managers are not going to be good. So, you want to talk to multiple property managers in your market. Like, just Google search property manager in this area. You can ask for referrals. Just ask around, try spread your web, spread your network. Because good property managers know good lenders, good property managers know good insurance agents, good property managers know good brokers, and good property managers know good general contractors, right? So you want to spread your web, and then maybe the property manager might know an owner that wants to sell their 25 unit, and you might have access to a good deal at that point, but you're going to have to be paying the property manager, the broker fee, right? Because a lot of property managers are brokers as well, because they make money that way. So, that's a great free way to get started, right? Like, it to me, it sounded so simple, but I guess to some people it wasn't as obvious, and I was just like, yeah, I just called multiple property managers. I was lucky that I was referred a great one, and I just called them and just talked like, hey. So basically anytime. And what's nice about having property managers, when you start your direct mail campaign, you can start asking them like, hey, what do you think of this apartment complex? These are the rents for the 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom. Is there potential to move the rents up? Is it a good area? Is that an area where you would manage the property? Because if it's too high crime, they'll just say no. So it weeds out that property. They'll tell you about the history of the property. Oh yeah, we know this property. It's a great area. It's near another apartment complex, and this is how much this rents for. And you're gonna have to do these renovations, right? So for me, I would love, because I'm in California, properties in Oklahoma, I would engage them in the process and just be like, oh hey, can you do a drive-by? Can you drive by during the daytime, during the nighttime? How does it look? How's the area? They can do stuff for you to help you out. So it actually helps you once you get your deal, because you can say, hey, because a lot of times when we send direct mail, they're like, oh yeah, let's go meet in person. I'm like, oh, I'm in California. I do want to meet you. But it just makes sense if we can agree upon a price, make a good offer. And then at that point, I would make a visit. But in the meantime, is it okay if my property manager goes there just to check out the property? So, that's a great, easy way to get started. It's free, right? So you want to build your team in multiple markets, and then you might find out that hey, I don't like this certain market, or I have a really strong property manager in this market, and then just go for that market, right? But when you do your direct mail campaign, you're going to hit multiple markets as well, right? So for me, it was just so fortunate that I had a good property manager in Oklahoma, and I had the most response rate in Oklahoma for my direct mail campaign, right? So I would say that was good for me in terms of that aspect. So yeah, it's a lot easier than you think. Literally just pick up your phone, take action, call a bunch of property managers, and then they'll refer you to a bunch of other people. You just talk to those people, and a good property manager, because they'll start to educate you about the market, teach you stuff hey, yeah, my property manager is telling me yeah, the rents are gonna be about 700. I see that they're right now around 300, 400. So there's room to go up, and you're gonna do these renovations, and we renovate units like this, and this is how much they rent out for. The area's great. They'll start teaching you. So the best way to get started before you do direct mail campaign is talk to a bunch of property managers, and then you can do your direct mail campaign, and you can have the property manager help you once you start to get off market deals, right? And if you're lucky, the property manager may bring you a great deal off market, no money at a cost, right? So it's a great way to build that relationship. Like I said, property managers make or break your team. So find a good property manager, find a backup property manager, and find a backup to a backup, right? So hopefully you found value from this video. Please share this video for anyone that needs to hear this, and let me know if you have any questions down below. Hope to see you in the next one. Thank you.